Bobby, I'm here with Jeff Hunt. He's running for Congress in the 11th District of North Carolina, and I'm going to let him talk about his campaign.
Bobby, thanks, and thanks for the opportunity. I'm running in the 11th District. As you know, the 11th District is now a district that stretches all the way from Caldwell County to Cherokee County, and that's Murphy. I live in Brevard, and I'm the elected district attorney for Transylvania, Henderson, and Polk counties. And I had a larger district when I originally ran in '94. Also had, in addition to those three counties, I had McDowell County and Rutherford County. I've been the elected DA in District 29B for 17 years. I've been kicking around in politics, conservative Republican politics, since Barry Goldwater in 1964. I was a teenager for Goldwater, and that's how I cut my teeth. So I've over the years been active throughout western North Carolina, put together the structure in western North Carolina for Pat McCrory's last campaign, and before that did the same thing for Senator Burr's campaign when he ran for Senate the first time, and then helped him again the last time. So I'm not a brand new person into politics. I'm a conservative, I'm a constitutionalist, and I am a free market economics advocate. I have a degree from Wake Forest undergraduate in economics, and then I stayed at Wake Forest and got my law degree. That happened in 1975. I've been a licensed attorney in North Carolina since then. Very proud to be an attorney running for Congress, at least a conservative attorney, because we don't have enough conservatives in Washington, especially conservative lawyers. It's a pretty well-known fact that 2/3 of the people who drafted our Constitution and signed it were lawyers, and so I'm proud to carry on that tradition. I didn't just wake up one morning and decide I was a conservative. I've been a conservative my whole life, and I believe that life begins at conception. I believe that marriage is between one man and one woman. I'm a strong advocate, as you might expect as a prosecutor, a strong advocate of the Second Amendment. But the issues that made me run are the deficit and the national debt, which are completely unsustainable and out of control. And even though they are putting window trimming on it today as we speak up in Washington, their efforts to cut spending are really not spending cuts at all. What they're doing is just reducing the amount of the deficit that they're cooking into the books. So nobody is really talking about a zero deficit budget, that is balancing our budget, and that's what has to happen before we are able to create jobs and get out of this recession. The private sector is where wealth, prosperity, and new jobs come from, so we've got to grow the private sector. You can't balance the budget by raising taxes, because that takes dollars out of the private sector that could create new jobs. And you also can't borrow your way out of the recession. And this is the fallacy of the liberal mindset involved. When you borrow $1 from China, the private sector has to repay that dollar. So you're taking another dollar out of the private sector where the job-creating machine is. And so we've got to balance the budget and then start working on the $15 trillion national debt. I'll close by saying this. The federal government takes in about $180 billion a month in tax receipts. However, we spend every month approximately $315 billion. So the difference between $315 and $180 billion is the amount that we borrow, the amount of deficit spending every month. And that's got to stop. And we're borrowing that not only from China and Brazil and Saudi Arabia and India, but we're also borrowing it from ourselves. The Social Security Trust Fund, which was a fraudulent thing to begin with, because they being the powers in Washington, immediately started putting in IOUs in the trust fund, and so there is no trust fund, and what we do is put our own IOUs in there, and that's got to be paid back. So we won't create new jobs until we create a situation where we're sustainable on the physical path, and that's the main goal that is the reason that I'm running for Congress. I'll close by saying this: the Constitution carefully created a private sector ownership, free market capitalist society. It did not create a socialist economic system. It didn't create a communist economic system. It's very specific in its creation of a capitalist private sector ownership, private property ownership, that is, economic system. And that's what we've got to get back to when we take the fetters off, take the chains off of the private sector system. That's when jobs are created. So I hope you'll follow me on the website. It's jeffhuntforcongress.com. You can reach us, P.O. Box 1001 in Brevard, I think it's 28712, and you can Facebook us too. So follow our campaign, and I hope you will agree with me on the issues that we cover, and I think you'll agree with me that we need to send someone like me, an old prosecutor, to Congress. Thank you.
All right.